You join us on this glorious morning here in Suffolk. It's 6 a.m. and I'm with David and Parker, and we're about to encounter the sun rising on the east coast of Suffolk, UK. This coastline could quite possibly be one of the most defended coastlines in British history.
I'm a history hunter.
Summer's first bit. Sea glass.
Welcome to History Hikes. I'm Dale, born in the 80s and a history nerd. I had this idea. Why not create videos combining history and outdoor adventure through hiking and camping, leaving technology behind to enjoy the scenery, and if I'm honest, to get more steps in. I roped in my son Parker, initially to get him outside, but soon realised he can get in all the tight spaces. Well, I can't. Oh, and this is my childhood friend David. He is the adventurous, brave one. Together we will seek adventure and history, from ancient churches to wartime relics and old graves, even Roman walls and towns. Join Dale and friends as we explore our world and our past, leaving technology behind. This is History Hikes.
Welcome to History Hikes, ladies and gents. We have just watched that beautiful sunrise above my head come up in the most easterly point in Britain. Yes, we're on the east coast of England. It's been heavily defended from the Roman times to the Vikings to the World Wars, when we tried to keep the Germans from coming onto our shores. This town and area was heavily bombarded by them back in the 1940s. So join us on History Hikes as we take you off your sofas, away from that technology, and then we get you outside. Join us on an adventure, ladies and gents, on the east coast, what the Anglo-Saxons called East Angles. We don't have to go far, ladies and gents, before we start seeing remnants of history. Now what you can see there and there is an old sea wall. Now this sea wall was converted in the World Wars, and they were considered anti-tank proof for German invasion. Whether they were or not is another matter, but they were a secondary or primary defence back in the 1940s, and they were made into a wall to stop the Germans from invading this flat beach, which they considered vulnerable to being taken over. What you got? They do some creative photography of the sunset.
Oh, lovely. Let's do that. Very artistic.
I know. My kid before he said I was artistic.
I think it was 1814 when there was a Roman lookout point in Corton discovered. Unfortunately, we can't go there. It's long lost to the sea, but you can see what a strategic point the East Coast was all the way through to 2,000 years ago for defending England. A few years ago, I was metal detecting this same beach when I came across this spoon. On further inspection, I could see it read NAFI. This is the British Institute that provides goods to servicemen across the world. It's amazing to be holding this after 80 years, and David and Parker were both amazed by the find. Right, guys.
Yeah.
What we got there?
This is a British Army issue spoon that I found on the beach a few years ago.
Let's have a go. Let's have a look.
So the soldiers were stationed here to defend the beach from a German attack that never actually happened back in the 1940s. And they were eating and training on the beach.
No, I like how the waves come. But no, the waves let you
for erosion, Dale. Fortnight. Of course, back in the 1940s, if the German would have invaded this beach, they would have been kindly greeted by a nudist beach. Everybody along this coast, or this short piece of coast, in the summer, this is subject to all the nudists, the naturists, which I have no problem with. We're all born like it, but the Germans would have had a shock of their lives. Any of you two want a strip?
No thanks, mate. It's already cold.
What you got, Parker?
A jellyfish.
Jellyfish. When we were young, we used to chuck them at David. Didn't we, David?
Actually, I remember we rescued a load of them from the beach, from Fatty, Fanous and Skinny Sam. They would put them all in a bucket and they were going to take them home. And we rescued them and put them back in the sea.
Yeah.
So now, about 30 years later, I'm going to do the same.
Yeah, put it back in the sea.
Goodbye, Steve.
Those jellyfish.
I've just spotted something up here. David. I want you to tell me what this reminds you of from the 1980s. Let me just zoom in on this. Right, top of the cliff, that tree, that sort of...
Yeah, the bent one, yeah.
The bent one. What does it remind you of?
Jurassic Park.
No.
Go on. Enlighten me.
What did you just do on that groin?
Oh, Karate Kid.
Karate Kid, it's a bonsai tree. That's grown, hasn't it? Ladies and gents, back in the 1980s, Karate Kid was filmed here, and that is the bonsai tree that has grown up to be 20 foot tall. Obviously that's a joke, but it could have been. It looks like the bonsai tree from Karate Kid.
At this stage, we're enjoying the last of the beautiful sunrise and making our way between our start point at Corton to the start of the heavily defended stretch of coastline littered in World War I and World War II pillboxes. It was at this point we started to see evidence of Lowestoft's rich history in the fishing industry.
Look,
Baby
turn it over, Parker.
dogfish.
Dead.
Is it dead?
Yeah. Look at his eyes.
That's a dogfish, that is, Parker.
I know. I've seen him before. Oh, poor thing.
Quick kiss.
Let's go and ask this guy if he's caught anything.
This, you've got this.
What are you doing? You still got it? Morning.
Morning.
You caught much? Just started. We're doing a documentary today on Lowestoft. Part of it's obviously a big part of it's the fishing.
Okay.
Do you get much fish off this beach? Like,
Yeah, well, I'm not local, I'm on holiday.
you're on holiday, are you?
yeah,
Yeah. Have you fished here while you've been on holiday, or
yeah, I've fished it right up the coast.
have you had any? What you had?
Mostly the same, whiting, dabs, dogfish has just started moving in.
We just found a dead one there.
Bass later in the year, smooth arms, rays.
Yeah. I mean, Lowestoft used to be the biggest herring port in the country.
Wow.
Well, yeah, no, Lowestoft overtook Yarmouth.
But
Yarmouth down the road used to be, and then Lowestoft ended up taking over for the herring and stuff. So,
yeah,
but over the years, I mean, it's dried up a bit here. I don't know if you know Lowestoft very well.
No, we have been coming down here. Well, I'm actually a fishmonger.
Fishmonger, are you? Oh, right, okay.
We used to get a lot of our, well, when I live in Derby. When I first moved to Derby,
Yeah.
where I used to work in Derby, we used to
He's
get a lot of
swimming,
our
he's
fish from Lowestoft.
Yeah,
It was all Lowestoft.
yeah. That's even dried up, hasn't it? Yeah. Don't know why. Perhaps we just trawled it to death, maybe. I don't know, but...
No. Personally, I think it's due to the water warming.
Warming up.
Yeah. It's global warming.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not. There's fish appearing in this country now and things appearing.
Sharks.
Yeah, well, they keep saying there's great whites around the coast.
So there you have it. This kind gentleman, this fisherman, was telling me all about the great whites that are travelling halfway across the world to visit our shores. So if you're on holiday this year on the east coast of England, be sure to check your great white reports.
Yeah, no, nice to meet you anyway.
Yeah, and you, mate.
All right, see you later. This part of the coast is littered in pillboxes. We've got 2 in close proximity here. Type 22s, I've been told by David. Thank you.
Type 22s. No problem.
So we've got one up there which is fairly complete, but we're not going to that one. It's not high enough for us. We're going over to the ruins right up in high in the cliff up there. Obviously the British Army were expecting them Germans to invade this beach, and they would have been greeted by anti-tank batteries, heavy bombardment to keep them from pulling up in their boats. Let's hope there's not another war, because we live here and we don't want to be taken over by anyone. Do we, Parker?
No.
Would you fight for the country?
Yeah.
Good boy. There's a lot of gorse around here. Whether that was here back in the 1940s, I won't know, but obviously fairly heavy camouflage if it was, so the Germans would have, although they would have expected the beaches to be defended, they might not have seen us before they heard us. You know, amongst all this gorse, it's quite heavy undergrowth, perfect for snipers. Rumour has it that the training was heavy by the British Army on this beach, and that this bunker here, for instance, has not just collapsed naturally. It was part of training which they bombarded with real life activities, which in turn damaged the bunker, causing it to fall down. You can see there's not much left of it. A bit like my breath, but we're climbing up to get a good view from the vantage point that the British Army would have had from this pillbox, or army bunker as I like to call them.
As you could tell, it was hard enough for me getting up that hill without any heavy backpack or artillery or any ammunition, guns. But the Germans would have had all that to attack a beach such as this. And getting up this hill, as you can see by David and Parker, it's pretty steep, and it would have been easy pickings for the British Army as they approached.
Their defences, and yeah, the damage sustained here is probably a result of the training operation. But I just want to point out the vantage point from up here. What do you think?
Very good.
Just lay down there with a machine gun. Just show us what we're playing with here, David. So as you can see, David if he was in the British Army with a gun, he could have sniped from 100 metres as the Germans pulled up on this fairly low-lying, flat, rather enticing beach. They could have rolled their tanks off and they could have made their way to the port of Lowestoft, which we'll see a bit later on. You can see why it's rich in World War history, can't you?
Yeah.
David?
Yeah, he's in the one down there though. We've got a bit of a history meets pop culture. Someone spray painted Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. on that one down there.
Well, that's the modern day.
Yep.
That's the modern day kids for you. Instead of training for a war, they're graffitiing the defences.
This is where I put to the camp last night down. You could have met me.
Yeah.
Someone could have built a
This is a nice little camping spot.
Someone's had a little campfire here, look.
Responsibly.
Yeah, nice little wind wall. Oh, that's what I miss doing, climbing trees like this.
I climbed trees last weekend down in Dunwich. You see on Facebook?
I didn't think I did.
Yeah, climbed trees last week. Parker's got it, he's got it going.
Well, there's a bit of carpet down there. Bit of carpet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's tied up.
Shall I come higher?
That looks like it's been delivered, look. It's left here.
Yeah, someone.
I reckon they sleep on that. That's their ground sheet.
Yeah, it's just someone's little den here. They've got some firewood here drying out, look.
Whee!
Anything healthy?
David's breakfast.
Well, I'm down.
Oh,
Let's see what you got then.
let's see what state this is in. It was made at 5 o'clock this morning. That's still bearing in it. That's
Oh, got some raisins in there.
cranberry and raspberry porridge with some raisins in there.
I just hurt myself as I was going up when I slipped.
It's all part and parcel of childhood, my son.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm fine now, didn't hurt.
If anything, you're not hurt enough. I've got my little wonky spoon.
Let's get the first bite.
It's very stodgy.
Nice.
Tastes good.
Very nice.
Like tasty mud.
I'm gonna...
Winston Churchill once said during World War II, "We shall go to the end, we shall fight in France, we shall fight on the seas and oceans, we shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air, we shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be, we shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields and in the streets, and shall fight in the hills, we shall never surrender."
We've had a disaster here.
Yeah.
That's my chai latte. I've been waiting for that.
David's had a disaster. He's got leakage in his bag. Now, the funny thing is, ladies and gents, I supplied him with a waterproof internal bag, which he took out this morning.
Lies.
Oh, come on.
Lies.
That's what it's for, to keep the water out and keep the water in.
See, what you don't know, Dal, is that I cannot function without my chai latte. But here we go. Got about a third of it left.
Have it look. Yep, a third of it, quarter.
Alright, Parker Cam. He's going in. Black Ops. There he goes. What's in here? Like evidence of
Rubbish.
teenage delinquency.
Yeah.
Anyone in there?
Yeah, loads of beer. Beer can.
Bacon?
Beer can. No, beer cans.
Parker's
Water,
hungry. He's talking about
Coke.
bacon.
Yeah, true. Pepsi.
Parker, how do you think you'd have been if you were holed up in here looking out that little window all day?
I don't know. It'd be very, very hard to.
What do you
Very
think
like.
what do you think they did to occupy themselves?
I reckon they would just dance around.
They're
Dance
playing
around.
cards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No tablets.
Oh look, some smoking. Someone's been smoking in here. Tobacco smoke is dangerous.
We have some kind of water source coming out of the cliff. Is this natural water or?
Yeah, it's from here.
Natural, is it?
Yeah, but it's leaking now. It's got the wall. It's got, years ago, when that wall was solid, it couldn't come out of the wall. It would come out down there, out of the actual ground, like a little hole. You
Right.
could build a. Well, you see.
So this is a natural water source?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So this is like a little well. That actually does look like water supply for the war, is it?
Could be, Dad.
For the soldiers?
I'm not going to lie, 'cause I don't know where it's coming from. But I just know when I was a kid, it used to come out of the ground.
Oh, look.
Out here.
Look, there's a bit of water, from the water down there, coming out from the hole, from the wall.
Do you know, I've lived here for 42 years and never seen this little well thing.
Before it leaked, you can see it picking out everywhere.
Go down.
Come out.
Ready for me to jump down? You can jump into the...
Well, there used to be a hole in the floor.
It's literally like a whirlpool. Like there'd be a hole,
A whirlpool.
and the water would be coming up. And you could throw sand in there that would swirl around and kick it out again. It was honestly
Nice.
a bit bizarre. But
Yeah, I reckon that was built perhaps back in the World War II. Maybe a water source for all the soldiers. Something a bit different over here, ladies and gentlemen. David's going to tell you a bit about this one, but it's a circular structure.
that's a World War One. This one, Dale. So the World War One, as you can see, was circular. And that's where the name Pillbox came from. It's the pill shape and the box element.
So this is just an older style pillbox, not necessarily a gun mount.
No, so these predate the World War II ones that are hexagonal and rectangular in shape.
Parker's demonstrating how you could have used the pillbox, but
It's like a bit like a clay oven.
yes. As we approach Ness Point,
I'll go back down.
and Ness Point is the most easterly point in Britain marked with a plaque. So although I said we're on the most easterly point in Britain, we will actually be showing you the marker for such a prestigious landmark. But as you can see, as we approach Ness Point, we've got more seawall defences. Now, you might be able to see down there, there is actually a wall there which they say blocks were taken out of the wall so that guns could be mounted and shot through the wall. So this is what I mean by sea defences being converted into a World War defence mechanism all the way along this east coast. Now I couldn't walk past this this part of the wall without showing you the makeshift gun slots that they put in the sea defence wall. As you can see, all they've done is cut out 2 blocks to mount, hello David, to mount some guns in case of invasion by the Germans.
And just like that, we had hiked 2 miles along the coast. If you've made it this far, we're about to enter the stretch of coast taking in Lowestoft's fishing industry, the most easterly point in Britain, and the port of Lowestoft, a strategic port during the war. Join us on the next episode as we delve deeper into this unique coastline in Suffolk, UK. Please, if you've enjoyed this episode, consider subscribing to the channel and maybe dropping a comment and a like for us.